Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. If y'all hear some popping in the background, that is some quinoa that I'm cooking. I'm trying to make some lunch for tomorrow because I've been eating out a lot. I've been eating out way more than I would prefer. And so I need to get my life together and I need to start bringing my lunch. So I'm gonna make some quinoa, probably some chickpeas, and let me see what else I got in here. Some cucumbers. If this cucumber still some good, let me see. Chop up some cucumbers, some olives. Yeah, this cucumber. I don't know. I don't know. This is kind of fishy. I'm probably gonna have to let this cucumber go. Never mind about the cucumber. I got some carrots, and I got some red cabbage, and I got some mushrooms. So that should be enough, like to make like a little salad bowl tomorrow. Make my own salad bowl, and I got some hummus. Hey girl, happy belated birthday, girl. Go Taurus power. I got some some hummus I'm gonna throw in there too. But yeah, I came on here. I'm not gonna hold y'all along on the line, but I came on here to talk about the pitfalls and the dangers of announcing that you are quote unquote dating with a purpose. There are so many guys who take advantage of that. And they will literally tell women whatever they want to hear, and they don't have no intention of marrying nobody anytime soon. They don't have any intentions of marrying a lot of these women that make these announcements, but they lead them down the line a lot of times because it gets them a lot of access. It gets them a lot of husband benefits without them having to actually invest any husband money. You see what I'm saying? They get a lot of husband benefits because Black women tend to go into this audition mode, especially when they're dealing with BMs. They tend to go into this audition mode to where they're proving to the guy that they are a good wife. Meanwhile, he's not doing anything to prove to you that he's a good husband. He's just doing everything, putting you through all these different tests, and he don't know, he's been hurt, he don't know. And all the while, this lady is sitting up here doing everything under the sun to prove that she is wife material. And a lot of that has to do with dating one man at a time. There's a lot of women that fall into that pitfall of dating one man at a time. And they waste a lot of time. They waste 10 years with this one, 5 years with that one, 7 years with the next one. Because they so-called, quote unquote, dating with a purpose. Dating with a purpose. I'm not knocking marriage at all, but I am thinking that it's not wise to make that grand announcement. I would just leave it open if you are interested in marriage, that you are the one that's doing the evaluation, okay? That you're the one doing the evaluation, and someone presents themselves as husband material to you, but not that you are looking to prove yourself to them. Obviously, you're proving yourselves to each other, but women have a lot more to lose in the situation. Women have a lot more of investment, and our time is actually valued more when you enter into a situation where you're dating with a purpose. Now, when I see women so-called dating with a purpose, they tend to have this desperation on them, you know? They tend to have this desperate energy, even if they're not trying. Even if they're not trying to give off that energy, but a lot of times they do give off that desperate energy. It's just that this guy, I'm gonna make this work no matter what. My time is running out. And a lot of that energy comes from being plugged into a community that tells you that you're worthless without the validation of a male. A community that tells you that you're not worthy unless some man can validate you, that you don't matter if you're not Mrs. such and such and Mrs. so and so, you know. When you come into a community, when you're reared in a community that devalues Black women, So you're trying to reach your full humanship, you know? I mean, and I know that's a bit extreme, but it is sort of subconsciously true. Obviously, if you're in a community that doesn't really fully respect you because you're not a male, the next best thing is to be connected to one. The next best thing is to be connected one. Then you can get a little bit more respect. Then you can get a little bit more humanity. So that's the backdrop of a lot of this. Like, I's married now. It don't matter. You get a piece of a man, a half a man, a quarter of a man, just a hunk of flesh next to you. A lot of these women don't care. They don't care about the logistics of the how. They just want that validation. And so they're so-called out here dating with the purpose, this one, that one. And it's like, okay, if he's so-called dating with the purpose, and the ones that be dating, the men who be so-called dating with the purpose, they be talking about they God-fearing. And the God-fearing ones be the worst ones. They be the most heathen. They be the most heathen-like. The ones who so-called God-fearing, they be the worst ones. They really do. And if they're supposedly dating with a purpose, why are they acting like heathens? Why are they pressuring you into all kinds of stuff that ain't sure enough ain't godly? They lose their religion real fast when it comes to getting what they want. They lose their religion real fast. And so then you start thinking, okay, is this really what that is? No, of course it's not. Of course it's not. And it's not a good strategy. If you really do want to be married, it's not a good strategy. Because you need some more guardrails. You need some more guardrails around your heart. It doesn't need to be so vulnerable and open to every single Tom, Dick, and Harry that say you cute. Okay. Oh, you're cute. I like you. And you just bust it wide open, give them your heart and everything else. No. That's not a strategy to win. And also, you don't have to do that. You don't have to give your whole self to people who you have not brought through a process. Y'all forgive me for all the commotion, but I'm cleaning up. I'm straightening up and I'm making my lunch for tomorrow. But if I didn't come on the line, I wasn't gonna be able to talk to y'all tonight because I'm probably gonna go to sleep after this. But yeah, you have to qualify someone that they're safe enough for you to be vulnerable with, and that they're worthy of your time, affection, and attention. Well, how would you know? If you have the underlying belief that a hunk of flesh is all you need and that any man will do, then that definitely would be a recipe for failure. If you have the underlying belief that your purity, your love, and your devotion has the ability to transform any demon into a saint, that arrogance will definitely get you effed in this game. And a lot of Black women have that arrogance. They have taken Black girl magic to the wrong, all the way to the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? They've taken it to the extreme. They think that their Black girl magic is capable of anything. They believe in that redeeming factor. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what prompts this conversation. I've been wanting to talk to y'all about this, but I was just talking to somebody earlier today who, low key, it's a lot of people that don't agree. There's a lot of people in my personal life, like older friends and family members, they don't really agree with my lifestyle. They don't agree with me dating. They don't even agree with me having provisions as a what would you call it, a qualifier, for a serious relationship. They think that that's superficial or whatever the case may be. And the person I was talking to had wasted her life. She had wasted about 15 plus years in a relationship with a struggle bandit, and he just really took her through the ringer, did all kinds of stuff, cheated on her, messed up her credit, just did everything, did the damn most. Okay. She gonna tell me, well, I just think you need to date with a purpose, and I just, you just never know, a man can change. A man can change. Even my ex, I mean, I wasn't the right woman for him, but he learned a lot and he's going to be a better man. And I'm not going to judge him for what he did to me. And I said, well, I do. I judge him for what he did to you, girl. I'm not you. I judge him for what he did to you. Okay. And the way I look at him is less than a man because I don't believe that his behavior was manhood like. Okay. He behaved himself like a child throughout this relationship and anchored you in poverty and turmoil. And as soon as you got free from him is when you started to thrive. So that should tell you something right then and there. That should tell you he was the problem. Well, and so it's this redemption, like Black women think that they have to be the redeemers and they have to extend this benevolence and forgiveness to bandits that didn't ask for it, nor do they deserve it. They don't even deserve it. And you just willy-nilly giving it out to them. And the thing about this perpetual state of like women getting abused and mistreated and this ongoing level of dysfunction is because women don't speak up and because women have that over accountability, that they don't place blame where it's supposed to go, they don't place responsibility where it should go. So now this person has the ability to just abuse the next one, and then you're gonna pretend like he's a good guy and you're gonna lie. And how will he ever know that what he's doing is insufficient? And how will he ever know that the way he's demonstrating is unacceptable if you keep accepting it? You know what I mean? Like, just because he came out of the bad relationship and said he learned some lessons, you would never know that. You would never know if he learned any lessons until he is put out into the world and is able to demonstrate. He should not be living in his mama house. If he learned how to be a man, he shouldn't have left your house and went to his mama house. If he left your house and went to his mama house and he still at your mama house and you got 2 houses and he ain't got nary a one, then that should let you know he ain't learned nothing. Okay? If he leave his mama house and go lay up at some other woman's house, then that should let you know he ain't learned nothing. No matter how much you want to speak life into him and be the bigger person, you don't look like the bigger person. You look like the stupid person. Okay? Like, it's silly. I'm not saying put anything on someone that don't deserve it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying put on them what they earned. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Put on them what they earn. No more, no less. You see what I'm saying? Black women never want to look like the bad guy. Always want to look like the virtuous, pious, forgiving. Okay, well, you're going to forgive yourself right on into being exploited is what you're going to do. Okay? Trying to be the bigger person will get you exploited. I'm not saying being petty, but I'm saying don't be stupid. That's what I'm saying. I can see if I was just making all this stuff up out the blue, but I'm just speaking on what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking on what occurred. You were there. You were there. I think that's going to be a big mindset shift for those who really think that if they enter into the world and they're like, oh, I'm dating with a purpose, and you just meet some random guy. You meet some random guy and he's like, yeah, I'm dating with a purpose too. And you just believe him. You just believe him out the blue just because he say he dating with a purpose. Y'all, I got these drapes, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna be too small for my window. No. Oh man. Well, I'll try them out and see. But yeah, saying that you're dating with a purpose does not excuse you from taking people through a proper process. is what basically what I'm trying to say. You still need to develop some type of process to vet these people's character and allow them to show you that they are intentional about marriage. You should be able to look around. Do they hang out with married people? Are their friends married? Do they come from a family where people are married? Like, not just giving you lip service, but what kind of evidence do you have that this is true? That's what I'm saying. And I know that the underlying situation, the underlying problem is this, I don't want to use male worship, but I don't know any other thing to say. But yeah, when you do that, then his word is enough, and you don't look for evidence. When you only value maleness and you just want that companionship at any cost, then you don't look for the evidence to qualify what is being told to you. Trust, but verify. Believe, but always verify. Give yourself the time to properly vet them so that you don't get caught up in the, oh, I'm dating with a purpose, and then you get all caught up and then you get devastated. They be devastated. It'd be dudes married, talking about they dating with a purpose. What you mean? You dating with a purpose to cheat on your damn wife is what you're talking about, I'm gonna give you the true tea. Okay, this really be going down. Dudes be out here talking about they dating with a purpose. And they love it because they know that those women who say stuff like that are very gullible. They believe anything. They don't really verify anything. Them the type of people who, my pastor said, And so those are the type of women that get preyed upon because they're very vulnerable and they're very gullible. Very gullible. Because it's like there's a few magic words that open up the floodgate of love of Black women, and it really don't take that much. Unfortunately, I'm a God-fearing man, and I love the Lord. I'm a praying man. I believe in marriage. He ain't got no marriage. He got baby mamas over here and there, but he say I believe in marriage. Them women, and it's like the arrogance to think that you always, it's always like these women who think that their pee is better than the next one. Those are the type of women that don't have no sisterhood. They don't have no sisterhood because they always in competition for some bandit or the other. And they think that theirs is better than the next one. Not realizing that as women, you're the ones who have to set the standard. We are the ones as women, we're the ones who set the standard of their behavior. And if we are divided, they run rampant. They run a damn muck. It will truly be chaotic when we are not united. When you got women get mad at the woman that the man is cheating on, instead of mad at the man, you mad at the woman, you want to fight her. That's the toxic patriarchy that will keep everybody at a disadvantage because they will use one to play off the other one. And they use favoritism. Oh, you're the favorite one. I like you better than her. She didn't understand me the way you do. You know how they do. It's very important to be united as women and to put sisterhood over everything. That's a very important lesson that my godmother taught me. And it's definitely hard when you put to the test, when you have to carry yourself a certain way. And you have to have a certain level of maturity, even though you're dealing with a very immature male. But we have to be the mature ones. We have to be the ones who are 2 steps ahead. And we have to be the ones to not punish a woman for a bandit's mistakes. Don't punish the children. Don't punish other women. Let him eat his L by himself. Because that's what they want. They want women to fight over them. They want women to be confused. They want women to be lowering their standards and squabbling over them and all this. That's what they want. But I promise you, it's not a win-win strategy for the long term, because they will always keep up chaos and confusion. They will always keep up chaos and confusion if you don't take the high road. No, we should be banding together and figuring out how we can get more from them. Like, there's so many times where there might be one woman that's dating a guy, and the guy may be fickle, and he ready to move on to the next one, or he lying to this one or that one, try to get this or get that. And then the new woman figure out what he's doing, and so she mad because the next one, girl, you know what? At the end of the day, this dude really was temporary anyway, and now he moved on to that one. You might as well tell her how she can get to her bag as fast as possible, and hope that the next one, when you come up on one, hopefully she'll tell you the same. You see what I'm saying? Because being mad at her is not going to help. It's not going to help you. It's not going to make him not move on to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. It's not going to help. It's not. So you might as well save your breath and figure out how y'all can tag team to make the situation better for the both of you. You never know. You never know. Okay, y'all, my quinoa is ready. That didn't take long. I put the quinoa in a rice cooker, and that didn't take long at all. Because I've been doing, like, I really, really need to do better about bringing my lunch. I've been spending too much money out, and I don't eat as well. I don't eat as healthily when I don't bring my lunch with me. I'm sorry, I wasn't reading the chat because I've been cleaning up and I've been making my lunch for tomorrow. Let me see what you said. If I ever heard that I automatically exit stage left, that's a woman talking point in my opinion. It lets me know that they are heavy in some online circles and just know. Okay. I've never heard men talking about dating with a purpose. I've heard that a lot. Sometimes even guys will put it in their profile. Now, another thing that you'll hear them saying is, I'm looking for a wife. You'll hear them saying that a lot, especially BMs. You'll hear them saying that. I'm looking for a wife. I need a wifey, things of that nature. That's pretty much saying the same thing. I'm dating with a purpose. It's pretty much the same thing. I'll give you an example. I dated this one bandit a while ago. And so, like, when I started talking to him, I was like recently into dating, so I really hadn't figured out all my bearings. I was just kind of like, getting back into dating. And so that's when I met him. He was okay, but I honestly would say that there were some times that he was making me feel uncomfortable. He was monopolizing a lot of my time. He would call me multiple times a day. Now, at that time, I didn't understand that he was love bombing me. I didn't understand that. I really did not have the language. I just knew that I felt overwhelmed with what he was doing. Then we went out on a few dates, and then he didn't have the best hygiene, but that's a different story for another day. But we went out. I ended up having an issue with my car while we were dating. Something was going on with my brakes, and he offered to call his mechanic and see about it. And now at that point in time, I really wasn't sure if he was going to fix the car or he was expecting me to fix the car. And I really didn't want it to be ambiguous. So I just asked, I'm like, well, were you going to take care of it? And he said, well, I can. And I said, well, if you can, I would really appreciate it. And he said, okay. So blah, 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 got the car towed over there to the mechanic. He came out there, he paid for it. We probably went out like another time after that. He hired me to help his sister with something. And when I met the sister was very narcissistic. The sister, but on a female level, and I was like, oh crap, like, uh-oh, I was hoping that he, even though they came from the same household, I was hoping that he was really, really different from her. Now, the sister was actually engaged to a white guy, but the sister didn't want to marry the white guy because the white guy had a dog. It was really bizarre. It was really bizarre. She had a lot of neurotic, crazy little quirks and stuff. It was interesting. Anyway, I was there to do my job. I did my job and, I followed up. I did what I was paid to do, and I was pretty much out of the situation because I felt that the sister was really mentally off. So I did my job. I was out. Then we carried on. Now, the last date we had, this was the last date we had. We went to this restaurant. It was raining. He lives really far. I met him like halfway. And he was on his tablet the whole date, supposedly helping his uncle with something. I don't know. And then I love coffee, and it was raining, and I wanted coffee before I got back on the road to head back to my side of town. So I was like, let's go down to this coffee shop because we were in this like little town. It was like a little town where, things are walkable. I was like, let's walk down here to this historic coffee shop and get some coffee. I really want coffee before I get back on the road. He was like, okay. So we get to the counter and I order a cookie and a coffee, and he walks away. He walks away. He goes back to the back of the restaurant. So I look around, and so I pay for the coffee. It was just really bizarre. Keep in mind, this guy is bragging to me about getting these offers from different tech companies, wanting to pay him $150,000, this and this and that. He has this, he has that, woo, woo, woo. But the $5 coffee was a problem, and I knew that the problem was the fact that the coffee was for me and it wasn't for the both of us. He didn't want coffee, so he felt like I'm not paying for something I don't want, which is typical of them. They're very stingy, naturally. They're very stingy people, and miserly. So I sat down and then I left. He had been pressuring me to go out of town with him. And at first I said yes, and then I said, well, I'll go during the day, but I'm not going to stay overnight. I really don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. He's like, that's fine. We'll just go and come right back. But even still, I just was like, there was just something that was hesitant. I was hesitating going anywhere with this guy, And that was it for me. That situation was enough for me to show me. I know it wasn't a big deal, oh, it's just $5. It's not a big deal. But for me, it was just the act of it. It was the act of walking away from the cashier when it was time to pay for the coffee and bragging to me about salaries upwards of over $150,000. So in other words, it don't matter how much money these guys have. A lot of them are very stingy and miserly and controlling and the like. Fast forward. So we didn't speak for like 2 years. I just stopped returning his phone calls. And he had been hounding me on like the dating apps because he saw me on there. So I finally reached out and I was like, well, hey, let's go out. I was like, yeah, I would go out with you. He's like, oh, let's meet up. And I'm like, well, I don't really meet up, but I was like, if you'd like to make reservations somewhere, let me know and I'll consider it. So he made reservations at this really nice restaurant. Well, I'm sorry, the story is becoming very long. Let me try to speed it up. Blah, blah, blah. He complained about single mothers at the date. He complained about just a lot, just baby mamas, single mama. He just going on and on and on about that. And of course, I don't care, and I'm not really listening. And then he's like, "Well, I just don't understand whatever happened to us." And I'm like, "Well, today's a new day. I don't know. I don't remember. Um, but be on better behavior, and I'm sure things will be better going forward." And so he actually, like, I asked him to walk me to my car. This man hits me on my behind. It was just the rudest, most, it just felt like assault to me. And I was like, see there, that's the universe showing you to leave these dudes alone. Like, these, it don't matter how much, this guy's a millionaire. It don't matter how much money they have. Many of them are a very poor character. He began calling me thereafter, talking about why, he wanted me to come to his house. He wants a wife, and um, he really wants a wife. My thing is this: if you're a BM and you want a wife, you could have a wife tomorrow. The church is filled with potential wives. They're all over the internet in the comment section praising Black, they're everywhere. You can just roll out anywhere and just find one. So that's why I call bluff on it. It's not true. You don't want a wife. Because if you did, you would just go and get one. You would just go and get one. Especially like these community scammers that been around the world, and they done been all across the United States touring, having access to the upper echelon of Black women. None of the Black women are good enough. None of them. You don't want a wife. Like, and it's not that hard to tell, but they lie and they say that, and they want you to begin auditioning. They literally want you to begin auditioning for this coveted spot of their wife. Now, they will use you up and take you through the ringer. You busting it wide open on a handstand, doing the splits, cooking, cleaning, taking care of their children and everything else. And ultimately, they're going to find something wrong with you, or they're going to do something so egregious. And if you can't endure that mistreatment, then they'll say you're not wife material. They pretty much judge wife material on how good you serve and how much pain you can endure. How much disrespect can you endure? If you can endure a lot of good disrespect, then you would be a good wife in a lot of these guys' eyes. But I call bluff on it. But I knew the manipulation tactic that he was trying to use. And unfortunately, as someone who isn't highly motivated, like, I want a wife it's not a triggering word for me. It's not a word that's going to make me jump into action and behave the way you want me to behave, and to be available to you 24/7, and to cut off every other man who's interested in me, and to devote myself to you. But honestly, the guys who say, I want a wife, I'm dating with a purpose, they're hoping that these words will trigger a certain behavior in you. Many of them. And I'm speaking to the majority. I'm not speaking to the handful of guys who actually mean it. And I know everyone's banking on finding the handful of guys, but carry on your life for the masses, not for the handful. Because when someone really is marriage material, their life reflects it. Their lives reflect that, if that's really what they want. And if they want to marry you, they will handle you a certain way. They're not going to mishandle you. They're not going to, like that, how that guy hit me. If you see me as a potential wife, you would never hit me. You see, you disrespected me. So, and you tried to degrade me. So that's not true. If someone really sees you as a potential wife, they're going to give you their best. And they don't have to tell you. They would show you. They would be respectful. They would be not pushing you past a point that you feel uncomfortable, if you feel uncomfortable, they're going to back off. They're going to care about your comfort level. They're going to care about your accommodations. They're going to care about your safety. They're going to be concerned about your safety. They're going to take leadership in being on the security team for you. They're not going to ask you to come slide through their house at 2 a.m. because if they see you as a potential wife, they're not going to want you driving on the road by yourself at 2 a.m. to come and service them. If you're really truly the future mother of their children, they're not going to handle you any type of way. You see what I'm saying? And that isn't anything that you need to be listening to. Those are things that you need to be watching and seeing and observing, and give yourself the time. Give yourself the time to see and observe and experience how they handle you over time and under different circumstances, especially after you tell them no to something that they really want. How do they treat you then? Are they patient with you? Or are they using this, I'm dating with a purpose, I want a wife, as a fast track way to make them gain access into your heart, mind, and body? And that is the latter part is what I'm trying to warn about. The manipulation tactic of the fake, I want a wife rhetoric. It's not true. It's a con. It's a manipulation tactic. Oftentimes it's not true. Because what they try to pull is this whole, well, if you're going to be my wife one day, you might as well just start doing the things that I want now. Especially when it comes to intimacy. Well, we might as well start doing it now because you're going to be my wife one day anyway. And you end up enmeshing yourself into these people's lives and overcommitting. Ooh, Black women stay overcommitting themselves to situations that don't even warrant it. It's not even a situation worth committing yourself to. So that's what I wanted to share. Let me get back to cleaning and packing my lunch for tomorrow. I know I wanted to talk to y'all about something else. I think I recorded a couple voice notes on it because I always think that I'm gonna remember what I want to talk to y'all about, and then I ultimately don't remember. But I know I took some voice notes because I was driving and I had some ideas, and I took some voice notes so I can go back and revisit those and eventually come back on the line and we can chat some more. So thank you for tuning in. If you have not, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Bye.